Those are some
Good
numbers.
evening. Welcome to Damage Does D&D. We are back with our 6th episode. That's 2 hands for those that are counting the fingers. Of the Elusive Tide, a pirate-themed campaign for D&D 5e.
That many.
Yes, that many. That was the most complicated way you could have done it. Well done. So, without further ado, I will hand you over to the complicated one. I mean, our pirate master. Take it away, Jade.
So, last we left off, the Elusive Tide had set sail from the port of Orala's tomb, with the current heading to head towards Deep Horn, Shanty, close to the coast of the region of Fralakmere. As you sailed, you discussed your plans and saw a storm roiling up ahead. As you headed into it, you were almost ambushed, though you managed to spot them just in time, by large sea serpents that had generated the storm to hunt. You slew them with great abandon, though not without risk, with the captain and a couple of others in the crew going down at points. But at the end, the final serpent was slain by Klein with some of his general psychotic heroics as normal. So we pick up shortly after the fight, with the rains roughly beginning to subside, and a very large sea serpent head hanging on the side of your boat, and a very large octopus hanging on the other side. So, what would you like to do?
I'll get up and sort of dust myself off. Well, I'm on my feet, I think, at the moment, but just give a call around, make sure everyone's okay.
Is it morning yet?
Yeah.
What's happened?
I'll say, Lack, that you've been up in the crow's nest taking shots
I know, I was only
during the fight. But
yeah, so Olus would sort of give 2 short blasts on the little whistle.
I stay in octopus form for as long as possible.
you give those 2 blasts, and the octopus is still being an octopus.
Is your summoned creature still here, Captain?
The tentacle is. I think I lost concentration on my.
You lost the Fae.
I lost the Fae.
But a tentacle was moved down next to me, wasn't it?
It was,
Yes.
yeah.
I think you were chatting it up.
Captain, we appear to have a new crew member. I don't know what his name is, but he's very useful indeed.
Yes, that's my thing.
That's your thing. Okay.
Mm,
Interesting.
it has many uses.
I'm sure it does.
It doesn't have a name. Perhaps I ought to think of one.
If it's going to be a permanent crew member, that'd probably be very useful.
Semi-permanent. It comes and goes.
I see. Semi, you say. I understand.
PM, what?
Half
Yes.
past, you might say.
Well, it's not that big.
The scales on the sea serpent, if it is
Yes.
scales,
Yes.
how hardy are they?
You can make a nature or an investigation check, if you wish. You can either investigate the scales yourself or try and recall knowledge of them.
Well, they're both +1. I'll go for nature to try and recall knowledge. What did I say? +1, 13.
13. I mean, they're pretty decently tough from what you remember. I mean, it took you a couple of strikes with your axe to get proper purchase. Yeah, you're pretty sure they're pretty hardy. As you're sitting there considering that, you're suddenly just lifted into the air as this tentacle just kind of grabs you and starts hugging you.
I'll look back down at which I would assume is a Balkan, and just kind of wave at his.
I'll bring another tentacle over my head and wave back.
Can I go down now, please, Balkan? I just want to try and see if I can get some of these scales.
I'll start waving with Klein to everyone else.
Well, that's an interesting point of view.
I'll give 2 more insistent blasts on the whistle as I'm walking up to where Olara went down.
Okay, I'll revert out of the form, but I will probably forget that I'm holding Klein.
Fine, you kind of fall to the deck, but I won't say you take any damage.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll try and get like a couple of 3 of these scales off from his head. Just
Okay. Make a survival check.
I don't know why I'm looking at Roll20 map. Ooh, okay. 15.
15. Okay. I had a thing for this. Hold on. Hold right on. So 15. Okay, can you make... You're just going for scales, yeah?
Yeah.
You roll 2d8 for me, please.
2d8. 7.
7. Okay, you're able to prize 7 pretty good quality storm serpent scales.
Okay. Just got a few of these, Captain. They look pretty sturdy. Might be good for some shields or something.
Do you think they could be used to reinforce parts of the ship? The ones most prone to being struck by lightning?
Potentially, I reckon. I'd like to keep at least 1 for me, though.
Making it over to Alara, because I thought I'd go down, but I didn't see her get back up again, and I did fling that spell out.
Yeah.
At the end, is she breathing?
She's breathing. She's just kind of lying there, staring up at the sky, scowling.
Well, my dear, you took quite a spill. How are you doing?
I hate this job. And she sits up, kind of dusts herself off, and then just kind of looks to you, Phineas. Captain, if you don't mind, I'm going to go and bleed in a bed for a bit.
Whatever you need.
And she kind of walks down the stairs and down into the lower decks. So, what are the rest of you doing? Your ship is kind of stuck at the moment because of this large serpent head that's resting on it.
Yeah, as soon as I'd got what I could from it, I'd start hauling it over the side.
Okay, make a strength check for me, please.
I'll give him a hand with that.
Okay, you can make it advantage, or you can both roll separately.
Give an advantage.
Either or. You have a roll. Go on.
If I was
Oh.
helping, it would be disadvantage.
Well, my strength is a +3, so
Yeah, mine is as well. So
you should have taken the advantage. That was an 11.
well, I got a
11.
non-natural 20. So
Okay. So with Kirkin's help, but it's mostly Klein, you kind of push the head and it slowly kind of slides off and splashes into the water and sinks down beneath the waves.
yeah, I'd probably do that. As soon as that's done, I'd then go looking for damage around the ship and stuff.
Fly around the outside of the ship and just see if there's any external damage.
Okay. Both of you roll investigation checks for me, please.
I'm going to sit on the stairs and lean against the railing.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captain, would you like me to take the wheel as you're out tending to your crew, and your helmswoman seems to be somewhat indisposed.
That's fine. We'll stay where we are until everything's set.
As you wish.
The clouds are beginning to part as the storm is subsiding. So, what were those investigation checks for me?
11 for me.
Mine was 10.
10. That ship seems perfectly fine. There's a
Lovely.
little bit of burning on the deck from the lightning breath, but no problems.
Cool.
I imagine that quarantine looks more singed.
Okay.
We keep going, Captain, or we having a bit of a break here?
No, we'll get going once everyone's set and ready to go. You folk, Aldris, Balgin,
Captain.
Kirkun, Ilas. None of you would happen to be a tailor, would you?
Yeah.
I mean, I can probably mend something. Why?
Well, I paid an awful lot of money for this suit, and it's just got all lightninged.
Well, is there any significant tears? I can probably repair those.
There's a couple of like small burn holes and tears from where the creature was biting at you. Nothing that's too complicated and absolutely doable under the mending spell.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over. If you just bear with me a moment, Captain. I know you aren't quick to trust, so if you would prefer to take the coat off, I will use the spell. If that's easier for you.
Let's use this opportunity to earn some trust.
Right. And then Ilas will take
Kill him in the pen.
the opportunity to use the mending spell, and it'll cast it as many times as needed as required.
Okay. It takes a couple of minutes to kind of concentrate on some of the areas, but Phineas, you slowly watch as Ilas's magic starts to kind of knit the fabric and the fibers back together of your dashing suit.
Good work, Ilas. Thank you.
I can't dry clean it for you, but well, at least it's back to the way it should be now.
Not much ever stays dry around here, anyway.
Well, yes. Well,
Right, well, if the crew are ready, we will continue on our way to wherever we were going. Deephorn?
You called for travel to Deephorn?
Yes.
So,
Quarantine's fallen asleep on the stairs.
okay.
Clyde,
I will.
Captain.
would you mind getting Quarantine safely to her sleeping quarters?
Photo Captain will do. I'll go and pick her up and put her in bed, then get back out on deck.
Okay. You just unceremoniously dump her into the bed, or do you just...
I don't dump
Put her
her, I
down.
lay her down. And kind of on the way out, kind of flick the blanket like over her legs or something. But I don't. I'm not. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not a bed servant.
Okay. So, you resume traveling.
I'll head back up to the fly's nest and keep an eye out.
I'll say that's probably taken 10, 20 miles being slowed down by the storm and the serpents. So, if I count that again.
If I saw that Quarantine had fallen asleep and obviously was tired, I'd go down to the galley and just cook her a plate of sausages and just leave it outside her door.
Okay.
On with the journey starting up again and everything seems to be fine. Uh, who would be the best person to go and speak to? Maybe changing some of these scales. As if it was a leather worker or something like that on the ship.
Hmm.
Not
There's
necessarily.
nobody. There's nobody on the ship who is explicitly a leather worker, as far as you know. However, you are aware that oh, I've forgotten their names. Hang on. I
I've
will
been
refer
having
to
a
this
look
handy
through,
document.
but there's not. I don't know.
Well, in terms of like members of the crew that are crafty, so to speak, there's your fellow bosun Beck, and then you've known Branwen and Janine to be kind of crafty types. So, to your immediate knowledge, those would be kind of the three that you think of to go speak to. But you don't know about any of the new crew that you've acquired, or you can do another check to see if you know if there are any leather workers anywhere on the seas that you might be able to take them to.
Okay, I'll have a mull over that for a while. Now I know that, but yeah.
Okay.
Once
So,
we're set up and ready and sailing,
Yep.
I'm going to leave the helm to find Aldris.
okay.
Captain.
Who are you putting in charge of the helm?
Well, no one for a moment. Or
Okay.
maybe I'll just call in. You on deck, I'll call you over.
Sorry, who?
You, Aldris.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm on deck. Yeah, I haven't gone anywhere. Just sort of
Okay.
standing.
Well, I'll call you up to the helm then.
Captain.
If taking the helm is something that interests you,
Well,
perhaps now is a good time.
oh, thank you for your trust. I seem to recall I was incredibly good at this sort of thing in a former lifetime, maybe. It's been a while, but I'll take hold of the wheel.
Okay.
Well, if you need anything, I will be in my cabin reading.
As you say.
And I will head to my office, cabin, whatever it is, and begin reading the book that I bought from, what's his name the other
From
day?
Naranor. Okay.
Naranor, yeah.
Okay, you can be doing that. Aldous, I will just have you roll. What should we go for here?
Insight.
No,
Insight
I
into
don't
the ship.
think so. What I'll have you roll is a
Persuasion.
have you roll a wisdom check, and if you are proficient with water vehicles, you can add your proficiency.
I am not proficient with water vehicles.
Okay. Roll a wisdom check then for me, please.
That's a 16.
16. Okay. It's not too difficult. The seas are
Seems to be coming
relatively
back to me.
calm. I'm going okay. So, we'll say for the rest of the day, that happened kind of afternoonish, about 2 o'clock. I'll say, how many hours of reading did you want to get done, Phineas?
As much as I can. I've got lots of reading to do.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll say if you want to get a long rest in, at the end of this day, then I'll say that you can probably get 8 hours read. If you
Fantastic.
just do that and don't have anyone interrupt you.
I might call for Balkin to bring me some food at some point, but I'll continue reading.
Well, Proshka spends most of her time kind of guarding your door when you're inside, so
Yeah, I'll
that's all good.
ask Proshka to pass a message to Balkin to get me some food.
Okay. Balkan, you receive a request for some food from the captain.
Okay, I will find all the finest food in the galley,
Okay.
like all of it.
So you can make a. I should write these down. Find it. So you can make. Let's make a cooking check. Make a wisdom check for me. You can add your proficiency modifier if you are proficient with I mean, chefs. With cook's utensils. If you have that proficiency, you can add your proficiency modifier. So wisdom check then, please.
14.
14. Okay. Right. The food's pretty decent, Captain.
It's way out of proportion. It's way too much.
Yeah, it is mostly sausage. There's not much else. It's just sausages. So
Just bang on the door.
well, you wouldn't be able to bang on the door. You bring it up and you see Proshka kind of leaning up against the door.
Does she have to like poison test the sausage?
Can I go in?
You get a plate of sausages with a bite taken out of every one.
No, I will take it to the captain. Thank you very much.
Tell him I did it, not you.
He knows. He knows. He specified for you to make for him.
You have to tell him the dish name.
What is the dish name?
This dish is called the dish that Balkan made for Phineas.
Okay. You can go now.
Where? I'm joking. Bye.
She rolls her eyes, and as soon as you turn around, one of those sausages disappears from the plate, and she opens the door, takes it into Phineas. And she takes it into you and says, "This is the dish that Balkan made for Phineas." And she kind of shrugs and holds out her hands, like, there you go.
Yeah, they briefly kind of look and go, "Thank you."
Quite good sausage, though. And she steps out, closes the door behind her. So, I'll say that you sail along with no further complications, and unless there's anything everyone else wishes to do, you can get a long rest.
Yeah, if anybody cares to look, Aldris very occasionally is just closing his eyes as he pilots the ship and softly humming to himself. Yes. As if he's sort of lulling himself to sleep, then wakes up.
After a little while, Aldous, as it starts to get very dark, Alara comes up and kind of does a double take of you at the wheel, kind of shakes her head and...
I take it you'd like to take over now.
Yes.
Marvellous.
Normally I come up to let the captain go get some sleep.
Well, the captain wanted to do some reading, so he asked me if I would fill in for you while you were indisposed.
Sure. Well, you can go and get some rest as you see fit.
Of course. It's nice to have a conversation with you. I like your scarf.
She starts.
I just turn and walk away.
She kind of glares at you as you walk away. But if you pay any attention to her, you see that she's casting prestidigitation on the wheel. And cleaning it before she takes hold of it.
I just sort of turn out and go, I get that a lot. It's fine. It's how I look, I know. Probably Smell quite a bit.
I
Too.
suggest clean water next time.
All water is clean water. Just depends on what it's got in it.
Okay, so you can all get a long rest.
Yay!
Yeah,
After
just a
that.
question for Gherkin, aka Misty. I take it I lost my lightning resistance ages ago.
Yeah, I think that was like 10 minutes max. So
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was one of these, which is like
Yeah,
8
it
or
is.
whatever hours. Just to make
yeah,
sure.
sorry, just double checking now. Yeah, it's only up to 1 hour, so
Okay,
presume it's gone.
cool.
Okay. So, as we head into the second day of sailing, are you still maintaining course, Captain?
Yeah. Yep. Straight for deep
Okay,
hole.
maintaining course for Deep Horn. So, as we're sailing, 2, 3, 4, 5, what are people doing on the ship?
I'll recheck everything which was tied yesterday, just to make sure that none of the knots are loose or anything, just in case anything happens again. Everything is secure,
Okay.
and then go about just keeping an eye on things.
You're gonna love this. Make another investigation check for me, please.
Oh, I'm rubbish at investigation with Klein. 14 this time.
Yeah, it's all there.
Cool.
I'll still be up in the fly's nest, just keeping an eye out.
Okay. Make a perception check for me, please, Lack, as you're kind of watching out.
That's a 14 as well.
14. Okay. As you kind of look out, it's quite quiet around here at the moment. There aren't many ships that you've seen for the past couple of days. It's fair winds, fair sailing. No sign of any storms up ahead. Pretty average day of sailing, it seems. Anything
Aldris is...
else?
Sorry, go ahead.
Anything else that anyone's wanting to do?
Aldris will never stray too far away from the helm. Just be sort of available, just in case.
Okay.
Are there any spyglasses sort of lying about? I know people generally tend to have their own on board ship, but is there like a ship spyglass, or is there...
I don't think there really would be. People tend to have their own.
Okay, just a question. As I'm new to the ship.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And in fact, I think the one person you would definitely expect to have a spyglass probably doesn't, because I don't know if a spyglass would work for compound eyes.
Yeah, I would expect the captain to have a spyglass as well.
Captain
for
probably
sure,
does.
and probably
Yeah.
the first mate. But yeah, I'll just sit and stand and watch the world slowly pass by as we sail on.
Yeah,
And pay
I have a
very
question.
close attention to whoever is helming the ship at all times.
Who's helming it at the moment? Captain, is it you, or are you getting Alara to do it?
Yeah, well, when I would have sort of got up for the morning and had breakfast, I'd have put someone else in charge. Yeah. Well, would Alara have done the overnight shift?
She would have done the overnight after she recovered from her.
In which case, when I get up, I'll have some breakfast and I'll ask Aldris to take over again.
Of course, Captain. Anytime you require my services,
Okay.
I'm very happy to oblige.
Okay. Aldris retakes the wheel. And Alara kind of nods and goes off for her meditation.
I would like to, before I come out of my room, want to try and connect to the egg again.
Okay. Make a spellcasting check. So your charisma modifier for me, please.
I don't know why, but I've just had the sound of old internet connecting when she said that. DSL connection.
The screaming of the internet.
Nope.
What did you get?
8.
It's very brief, but you see that dwarven face again, as though he was talking to someone. He kind of looks over at you before you're kind of snapped out for a moment.
And then I will go and wash up and change into new clothes.
Okay. Klein?
Yes, I would like to go and find Beck.
Beck. Okay.
Please, and just have a brief, or maybe a long conversation with him. Who knows?
You find him kind of sat down in the bottom deck with one of the old broken boards. He's carving it into something. He doesn't notice you at first.
Hello, Beck.
Can I help you, Klein?
Well, very good question. That's what I was about to ask you. Yesterday, big sea serpents, and I got some scales from.
Yes,
one of
I
them, right?
remember there was a hole in the forehold. You missed it entirely.
Oh, you didn't see that? Must have just been glazed over from the bow. Sorry about that.
It's fine. It's fixed.
Thank you. Question though. The scales I took. Quarantine came up with quite a good idea for a few of them. Maybe they could be used to bolster certain parts of the hull. Potentially. And I was thinking maybe one of them could be made into a shield. What experience do you have on that?
I have not worked with a storm serpent, yes. I've not worked with storm serpent before, but do you have one with you?
I probably would have taken one with me if I was going to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
I'd have dragged it
He'll
around the ship.
He'll kind of take it and just gently kind of trace his fingers over it. Kind of almost going into a trance as he's kind of just inspecting it. Well, make a good shield. Pretty tough.
Would there be anything we've got to do?
You'd have to treat it, you'd have to brace it. And someone with more magical talent than me would be able to draw out the elemental capabilities, I'm sure.
Could you treat it and do all of that? I'd pay you, of course, if you could.
I would have to get the material to do that. Oils and such. But I could turn it into a shield.
Marvellous.
Does Klein already have a shield?
Klein does. I was waiting for an opportunity to say that Klein already has an amethyst shield, which it makes him resistant to thunder and lightning.
Klein already... It doesn't make me resistant to lightning, so you got that wrong. But Klein does know he's got a shield.
It doesn't make you resistant to thunder and lightning. It makes you resistant to poison and bludgeoning.
Yep.
It makes you resistant to the opposite element. The shields are weird.
Yeah. No, I know I've already got one. I was just...
So the plan is to stack up shields of different types. Do you have resistance to everything?
He's just going to hit things with shields.
I am a fucking big, crazy barbarian. I want everything I can get.
To be honest, he could probably handle carrying 2 shields on his back.
He's going to make
I
himself
was
into
imagining a stack of like 5 or 6.
Yeah, just get 2 massive terror shields and
Just with what I can do, it wouldn't be much better than what you've got already, but...
Do you reckon, did you say Garland was the other one? What might be able to help?
I said Branwyn or Janine.
Janine, Ricky. Let's have a look. Let me. Janine, where?
She's relatively new.
She's
Oh,
new.
okay.
She's right at the bottom.
Ah, okay.
The classes on the that crew document are out of date, but yeah, she is technically an artificer in what she can do.
Okay. I'd probably go to Branwyn then, knowing that he's a bigger part of
She.
the crew. Sorry.
You're making me remember all the voices.
But no, but before obviously I do that, I'll be like, right, yeah, I'll leave this with you then, Beck. And you can do
Sure.
that, and then right, let's say there's 200 gold, and that'll take care of anything you need when we get to shore too.
Certainly. He kind of puts it in his bag and puts the scale in his little bag. He's got this little kind of like woven bag that he carries. It's got loads of little herbs and trinkets in it. Puts it there. Certainly.
Yeah, and then I'd go and find Branwyn.
Okay. It's literally like a couple of steps over to Branwyn's door because
Yeah.
Beck was at the bottom.
Yeah.
So
I'll give a knock on the door.
you wait. There's a pause for a moment. Can I help you?
We really hope you can,
That
Branwyn.
accent was marked. Can I help you?
Yes, please. I've got a question for you, if you don't mind.
Oh, give me a moment, Clan.
Righto.
And you hear like the shifting and shuffling of like fabric, and she opens the door and what can I do for you?
I've got Beck potentially making a shield from one of those serpent scales.
She leans out the door, just looks over at Beck and kind of nods. Right, what do you need me for?
Maybe you could put some magical influence on it? I don't know.
Clan, I'm an alchemist, man. Mate, I mean, maybe. I don't see much that I could do. I could make some oils for it. For Beck to treat it with or whatever.
Ooh, yeah, that would be quite good.
Direct magic ain't exactly my forte.
Well, yeah. I don't really know who uses magic because I just like hit things. So
Didn't we hire on an enchanter recently?
we can't remember.
That other Genasi lass. What was her name? Janine, wasn't it? Might have a better chance asking her.
Rio, I'll ask
You know,
her.
those jade folk have a good tendency with elements.
How much for the oils that you might be creating for it?
She kind of looks back at the plants that she's got, and at this point, you kind of see that several of the plants have got these like fabric canvas covers on them with like big skull and crossbones and wording saying "Klein, do not lick."
Yeah, I had
I'll give it a go. I ain't gonna charge you for it. I mean, goodness knows, be useful to have around here. But I'll see what I can do, and I'll get it back.
Righto, thank you. And I think by this point, Klein's brain would probably be a little bit lacking, should we say, with the amount he's trying to remember and talk. So he'll probably just frazzled, yes. So he'll probably just stick to duties for the rest of the day, and then probably find Janine at some other point.
Okay. So that leaves us with Eyeless, Kirkin, Balkan. Anything you three are doing?
I will just very briefly go and retrieve the plate from outside of Quarantine's quarters. I'm assuming the sausages are still there.
There's no sausages on it. Though I will say, Quarantine, when you did leave your quarters, there was just this empty plate next to the door. So you have no idea what that was.
I'll take the plate back to the.
I rolled just out of interest to see how many hours she would nap for, and it was 3, so they would probably have all been gone by then.
Oh yeah, they were absolutely gone by then. They were gone after 1 hour. So you retrieve the plate and you head in, and Garland probably kind of orders you to do some washing up for him, and then kind of helps you.
I cook.
Yeah, but you gotta clean as well. Can't be serving people food on dirty plates now, can you?
Okay. And I will be using shape water. Love shape water. Yeah, shape water to help me clean the plates.
Okay. Okay, it's not a problem. Eyeless, Kirkin?
I will be doing whatever I'm told, and in free time, searching for any damage on the ship and mending it.
Okay. You probably, as you kind of search out some damage, you find a hole and you see Janine sat meditating right next to it. You can see these crystals very slowly growing over the hole to repair it.
Okay, so she's got that one. I will go on to the next so as not to disturb her.
Yep. Find the next one. You see this kind of like, it's not a true hole, but you can see that there's some burn damage and the wood needs to be replaced.
Yeah, so I'll start there.
Okay. Finally, Eyeless, anything you're wanting to do?
Where the bowsprit meets the railing, there's a fairly sort of sizable chunk that you could probably sit on. He will be sort of fat, cross-legged on that, just basically silently thanking the Moon Mother for her assistance in the battle yesterday.
Just make a spellcasting check for me. So just your wisdom.
Okay, yeah, that'll do. 24.
24, blimey. You kind of look up and you can see you'd see kind of a waxing moon up in the sky, kind of in the middle of the day, but you can see it kind of like resting in the sky,
Yeah,
looking down on you. Okay, so
I would also like to, after I've tried to do the connecting with the egg, I'll do a walkabout of the whole ship, making sure all the crew are okay and seeing if anybody needs anything, morale-wise or such and forth. Trying to do my first officer duties.
Whenever Quarantine says, see if anyone needs anything morale-wise, I'm just going to a specific place there.
yeah.
Does it involve sausages?
Raise the morale.
okay. Is there anyone in particular that you're looking to raise the morale of? Or?
Raise a sausage.
Well, no, it will start off legitimately as going around and checking on people, but, if any of them seem somewhat flirty, then, that would be reciprocated, obviously.
Okay. You find Nuxia asleep, just on kind of like on the cannon deck. She's probably not supposed to be asleep there.
Nux,
Mm.
he's supposed to be sleeping.
What do you think?
Do I need to tell the captain again?
Fine. She sits up, looks at you, kind of stands up, and then wanders off to her duties again.
Good girl.
But yeah, everything seems to be roughly okay. The crew are pretty jazzed that the fight went well.
I would also definitely make time to go and see Kirkin to thank them for catching me and healing me.
Okay. You find Kirkin doing some basic repairs and At this point, Kirk and Beck has come along and is kind of like guiding you and kind of checking your work a little bit.
Kirkin,
Yes, ma'am,
I-
sir.
quarantine's fine. I just wanted to thank you for your actions yesterday.
I was glad to be of assistance.
Well, it is much appreciated.
Thank you.
Everything okay for you so far on board?
I think so. I am making myself useful.
And is there anything you're in need of?
No, thank you.
Well, if there is, just ask. I'm
I
here to
shall.
serve.
Thank you.
And I will continue walking around until I get to the top deck and have seen pretty much everybody. So if there's anything in particular anybody wants to say.
Am I still at the wheel, Captain, or have you taken over again?
No, since I handed over the reins to you, I went back to my office and continued reading.
Okay, so you might notice that Aldris is at the wheel rather than the captain, or
Alara.
Alara. Yeah.
Goddess help me. Hello, Aldris.
Ah, first mate, how are you doing? You were a little bit under the weather there for a moment.
Yes, well, nearly dying will do that to you.
Yes, that happens a lot, I seem to find.
How are you finding things on board?
Well, I found this big wheel thing here. I quite like it, the feel of it. Not sure what it does, but I like it. Totally.
See, I don't even know I don't know. I don't even know if I would have to ask for a deception check because I genuinely cannot tell if Aldris is genuinely telling the truth there.
I mean, you can make an insight check if you want to.
No, I don't want to delve that deep, thank you.
Okay.
Let me know if there's anything you require.
Well, now you come to mention it, there is one thing.
Within reason.
You haven't got any sausages at all, have you?
I have not.
Right, just checking. Because I heard a rumour on board that there were free sausages. But I haven't seen any yet. Just lying about in hallways, apparently.
I cannot say I've seen any myself.
Interesting. Do keep me informed if you find anything, won't you?
Certainly.
Sorry, that sounded like an order. It wasn't an order. It was just merely a request. If you have the time, of course, to find out about the sausages and the whole how they get into the corridors thing. It's intriguing me, strangely.
I'll leave you to your duties. And she will sort of back away quite quickly.
Ah, that's what I like to see. Enthusiasm for sausage hunting.
She's always enthusiastic for sausage hunting.
That's why I said it.
I think you're enthusiastic for sausage hunting as well, aren't you?
I just like sausages. I'm quite hungry.
Okay. So, whoever's at the wheel, so Aldris, if you could roll a d20 for me, please.
Sure.
We'll see how this day of sailing
do I roll
goes.
it on D&D Beyond, or do I roll a D20?
Your choice.
Roll a real one.
I'll roll a real. I haven't rolled a real one for ages. Hang on. Got it. 8. I hope that helps.
8. Okay. The weather is a bit choppy, and you lose a good few miles on this day.
Course correcting.
But you make it to about there, and I should really move you guys onto this page so you can see where your boat is.
I
That
said
might
about
be
to say
helpful.
that.
You moved about where?
On the Roll20, I've got the. I've just moved you guys to the world map so you can see where you are. Yeah, that was a good thing.
It was an accidental good thing.
No, that was on purpose.
I was trying to move the map.
No, that was my
No,
ping.
Oh, it was your
Okay.
thing, was it? Okay. Just happened to click in exactly the same spot I was clicking, but I was doing something else.
There you go. For those that wanted to see where we were on the world map, here it is where we are on the world map. Being expertly guided by myself.
So, otherwise, your journey is mostly impeded. I'll say that, Phineas, you can get pretty much a full day's reading in. That's a good 16 hours if you wish. Because I'm assuming that you are, well, I'll say 18 hours, because I'm assuming you're resting in some capacity still, but not just reading into the night.
Yeah, well, I was thinking the other way. 16 hours implies that I've slept for 8 and then I do nothing but read. So I'd probably maybe let's cut it down to 14. So I've got
14
a chance
hours.
to
Okay.
walk deck and
You
things.
get 14 hours, which I believe will put you at 22
22.
total. Okay,
Nearly halfway.
that's not a problem. So we'll go into the next day, and we'll have whatever people want to do. Black, if you can make a perception check for me, please.
Black.
Yep.
Pay attention.
He's rolling it.
I was clicking the wrong place. Oh, that's a wonderful 9 this time.
9. Okay. Seas seem all clear.
Okay.
So, who's currently manning the ship?
I would probably have taken my customary position at the front of the ship.
Yeah. Who's currently on the helm?
Happy to be helmsman, Captain, if you want me to.
This is
Yes.
kind of in the morning of the third day of traveling.
Yeah, if Alara's done the overnight, then I'll ask Aldris to jump back on.
Okay, Aldris, can you make a perception check for me, please?
Perception, you say? Something I'm incredibly good at.
I will also have Morris up in the fly's nest, keeping an eye out as well.
Okay, you can get Morris to make a perception check as well.
9.
9, good. Clear seas.
Ah, natural 20 for 23 from Morris.
20 for 23. Okay. You hear, Captain, as you're kind of reading and kind of like getting to a really interesting bit about kind of like how magic can expand the mind's ability to think, your head is suddenly filled with cawing and a cacophony of warnings from Morris shouting, "Land ho, ship aground."
Right, book down. And I'll burst out onto deck and basically repeat
As
that
you
message.
as you burst out the doors and shout out that message, Aldris, suddenly the wheel starts to kind of shift and the entire ship starts to shake and shudder as
Oops.
the water grows turbulent around you and you see rocks rising and
Well, that was
land
unexpected.
masses rising out of the water. And that's where we'll take our break.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay, so we will go back onto our break. So bear with us a second. We will have a little break. you join us just at the right time. We're just about to crash into a large island. Or are we? Pirate Master, take it away.
Okay, so as we're going into a skill challenge, I'd like everyone to roll initiative, please, for me.
I'm rolling terribly today.
Not as bad as some.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll say 25 to 20.
That went well.
Good work. Good work. 15 to 20.
Wow.
Okay, 10 to 15.
14.
12.
12.
Don't forget Maroon.
Okay. Ilis and Phineas, who's got the higher decks?
Phineas, mine's 10.
Yeah, me then.
Okay, so Phineas, Ilis, and then we had a couple of 12s there as well.
Yep, 12.
Yeah, you probably got the high decks, I reckon.
No, -1 to my dex. I've
Oh,
got
fuck
dex
me.
of 8.
Oh, +1 for me.
Okay, so Phineas, Ilis, Klein, and then Aldous, 5 to 10.
Yep, 9.
9 for Lack.
8 for me.
Lack and Vulcan. Okay, Quarantine, Kirkin. 4. Okay.
When I saw that roll, I was like,
Skill.
what the fuck? That was amazing.
Okay, I'm just going to write down what you
Never rolled 0 before.
Technically, I could
12,
get to 0 as well.
9. What did you get, Vulcan? Sorry?
8.
8. Quarantine got 4. Okay, just writing those numbers down for no apparent reason. Okay, so Phineas, you've just stepped out onto deck and your ship is running aground. What would you like to do? What are you going to try and do to salvage the situation?
I am going to call out aggressively to the crew and basically demand that they sort this shit out.
Okay, so you're calling for your crew to be all hands on deck, get this shit sorted.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
What skill would you like to use in that?
I'll also add in there, docked pay for anyone who doesn't work hard enough or something. So I'll go for intimidation.
Intimidation. Roll the intimidation check. I will also let you know as he's rolling, you can't repeat a skill. So we could have 2 different people do intimidation checks, but the same person can't do 2 intimidation checks. If we get around to that, we'll see how you guys do. So, what did you get, Phineas?
18.
18. That's a success. You watch the crew kind of like busy into motion there, doing what they can. The repair crew are already down below decks, kind of managing stuff like that. You've got it under control. Captain's doing well. Ilis, what are you going to do?
Okay, because the Moon Mother affects the tides, I would like to combine this with create water, but I want to sort of beg the Moon Mother to empower it.
Okay.
So essentially, I want to cause a swell of water under the ship to push us over the rock.
Okay, I like that. I'll say make a spell attack roll for me.
Okay, that'll do nicely. +9, 25.
25. Very nice. That's a success. You managed to kind of cause this surge of water and direct the boat to the side as a very sharp chunk of rock just rises up next to the boat. Very nicely done now, Ilis. Klein.
I was going to try something similar because I can do that, but I have no spell attack.
Should do.
I am not a spellcaster.
You're not a spellcaster. However, if you do have a spell, it will be defined by something. Call to the Wave as an Water Genasi. Constitution is your spellcasting ability.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would. If Iris has done that in a particular point of the ship, of the ship, I would have done it somewhere different so as not to like completely swing like it around as such. So it's
Yeah.
pushing it out rather than swinging it round.
Okay. I'll say making a spellcasting check. You can add your proficiency as well. But what I will say is the DC is going to be a little bit higher as we're repeating the exact same thing here.
Right. Okay. That's not too bad. 13 plus 6, so 19.
19. You just make it by 1. Okay. So another surge of water. The ship is starting to kind of rock and move. You can see strange structures starting to appear, covered in kelp and seaweed as we go into Aldris.
Okay, so seeing these two affecting the boat ship. Sorry, it's ship. Affecting the ship from. Are they both doing it sort of similar side?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, cool.
There's a particularly
what I wanna
large
do
chunk of land.
Is I
to the left.
want to lean into this skid, as it were, spin the wheel all the way around, and yell, "Everybody, get over to the starboard side. It's gonna get wild." And I want to persuade them all to get over there. I'm going to use the momentum of the crew rushing to the side of the ship, the water that's just been cast, and try and spin the ship away from the island.
Okay.
If
Make
I may.
a persuasion check for me then, please.
Come on, I'm really supposed to be good at this. Oh, for fuck's sake, really?
Oh no.
I've got a +8. I've got 14.
14. That's a
Jeez.
failure, I am sorry to say.
You're not
Aldris, if you could
sorry,
roll a
is it?
d8 for me, please.
Fuck's sake, this is so annoying. Anyway, D&D. That's what happens.
That's
D8.
how
you
it
say?
goes.
That's
D8 for me then, please.
Those are the rolls.
5.
5. Okay. So, as you kind of yell this out, nobody really kind of hears you. They're so focused on everything else. And the boat shifts to the right, but it doesn't quite go far enough. And the hull takes again. The hull takes 26 points of damage. There's a large chunk of rock just shears through the side of it. You weren't able to turn quick enough. That is one failure.
Fair enough.
Lack, you're up.
Okay, so I'll want to fly up into the air, go forward of the ship, so in front of it, so I can look in the water and see where I can see rocks coming up, and then message that back to who's ever at the wheel to warn them of new rocks appearing underneath the sea so they can try and maneuver around them.
Okay, make a perception check then for me, please.
If only he'd gone before me.
18.
18. Okay, that's a success. So you, as you sail, kind of looking out, you can see the rocks coming. You can see these sandbanks now rising, and you're calling out. And Aldris, you're just hearing Lax. Kind of, are you giving him just directions which way to go to avoid the rocks, or are you being more descriptive, saying rock on the left or rock on the right, etc.?
James.
Pay attention,
Yep.
that question was for you.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to Aldris there.
No. Are you giving Aldris kind of commands on what to do, or are you describing what's
Yeah,
coming?
absolutely. Well, no, I'll be describing what's coming up and where it is so that he knows.
Okay.
And I'll be using message so he can get it straight into his head.
Aldris, you're getting the information beamed directly to your head.
Okay, I
You're
will
able
follow
to
that.
make your way through. Okay. Balkan, you're up next.
I was going to do something with Freedom of the Waves, but that's incredibly similar to what Ilus and Klein had already done. So instead, I want to use a medicine check, maybe, to hold a third level healing word. So if anyone takes damage or is knocked over by the waves, I can get them up as quickly as possible to assist.
What I'll do is I'll let you hold the skill check, and if anyone does get injured, then your skill can come into effect. It's not going to be a pass or a failure for now. Okay?
Okay.
Quarantine.
I'm going to position myself behind the sails and cast Gust to try and give us a bit of speed to help with the momentum of being pushed away from the island with the water.
Make a spell attack for me, please. Charisma. Spell attack.
27.
27. Ooh, that's a success for certain. Aldrich, as you're kind of turning from Lax's commands, you see the sails kind of shift as Quarantine uses her magic to kind of move the boat and guide it through.
Excellent.
Very nice.
The ship is responding to me exactly as I wanted.
Kirkin, you're up next.
So, description on the spell reads that this is something I can do with the GM's discretion.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought is to cast Speak with Plants.
Right.
One of the features of this is that I can turn difficult terrain caused by plant growth into ordinary terrain, or turn ordinary terrain where plants are present into difficult terrain that lasts for the duration. So my thought is that as we're on an island that has just raised itself from the ocean, there's probably quite a lot of seaweed and the like on it. So I want to ask the plants to form a kind of cushion underneath the boat to prevent damage and to assist in the sliding back off the landmass.
Okay.
Nice.
What I'll say is make a persuasion check, but because you're using the spell to do this, I'll say that you can do it. I'll give you the choice. Either you can do it at advantage, or you can add your spell modifier to it. So you can either do it at advantage or add your wisdom modifier.
So you
tough choice.
adding wisdom modifier twice, in fact. Oh, that's charisma, isn't it? Persuasion. Sorry.
Persuasion. Yeah, I'll go for wisdom modifier because
Okay.
+2 versus
straight roll with your
+0.
wisdom. Straight roll with your wisdom.
17.
17. That's a pass. Very nice. So, Kirkin, you kind of focusing on this magic and reach out. You can hear the voices of the sea kelp and the various underwater plants kind of calling out, and there's a lot of screaming and panic. But you kind of ask them, and they kind of start telling you where they're coming up and where hasn't come up and where they've been severed, and they start trying their best to help you go through. Very nice. So we'll come back to the top. Phineas, you're up.
Oh, we're going back round.
Yes, we go back round from the top until you get all the successes that you need.
Oh,
So you've already used intimidation.
Okay. I will. Be much help. What is that? How can I deceive this to my advantage?
Oh, don't worry, crew. We're not going to hit it, I promise.
Yeah.
What I will say, as captain, to make an adjustment to this, as captain, you can get one of your crew, not one of the ones that's currently taking part in this skill challenge, but you can get one of the crew to do a skill check for you if you wish.
Okay. I won't do that.
Okay.
Because
I'll say that also extends to the first mate.
I wouldn't get to roll.
I'll
Okay.
make you roll for it.
I will. Wait, can I do that? Can I see through my familiar's eyes? Is that a thing?
Yes, you can.
Okay. In that case, then I'll get myself set in a comfy position.
Yep.
And I will move my consciousness or whatever into Morris and have him fly up and around. and just sort of get an aerial investigative view of the nature. There's two
Yeah.
options to go for there, so that I can then pass that direction to Aldris, who's at the helm.
Okay. Okay. So I'll say that you can make an investigation check to kind of study and understand the layout of what's coming up, the layout of the island.
Boop, boop, boop. 25.
25. Very nice. That's a success. So as you kind of go into Morris's eyes from this high up vantage point, you can start to see that kind of bits that are coming up. Your ship's going to be enclosed in a lagoon if you're not careful. So you kind of call out to Aldris and kind of direct him the quickest way to get out of that danger zone.
Excellent. Cool.
So that's absolutely doable. Right, you're on 7 successes. Only one more as we go to Ilus.
Okay, so having done that already, Ilus is going to dash to the middle of the deck, very much a similar position that he was in during the fight with the sea serpents. And you'll see him just plant the staff, and just this orb of moonlight blast out. And he's going to cast Beacon of Hope to bolster the entire crew,
Okay.
to sort of assist them in doing what they need to do to get us out of this mess.
Okay. Is there a particular skill you're going for that?
Yeah, so he's essentially going to be using Beacon of Hope.
Okay. That's another spellcasting. You've used your spellcast already. You can do it again, but you can roll at a disadvantage, as you've already used some of your spellcasting on this already.
See, I would argue that I've affected the ship. I haven't actually tried to do anything for the crew.
The design of this is to get you to be creative with what skill proficiencies you have. But you can use your spellcasting again, but you have to do it at disadvantage.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's actually not bad. That's a 17 and a 12. So that's going to be 21.
Okay, that's the last success you need. So, as Ilus lets out this kind of wave of magic, bolstering everyone, it's the final push you need as they kind of pull the sails in. Quarantine's magic pushing them. Lack and Phineas directing. Aldris, the boat sails out as a sandbank rises behind you, shutting off the path that you just came from. And the sea begins to calm as a moderately sized island has risen behind you.
Well, that was quite exciting, Captain. Shall we hove to and board the island as well?
Yes, let's assess damage. Damage report.
As you call that out, Beck rushes up. Yes, Captain. Major damage to the hold. We're working on it.
Okay, well, it seems like we're here for a while, so you've got some time.
We'll get it done. He nods and rushes back down below decks.
As we've stopped and escaped from the danger, first thing I'd do would be fly up and out a bit to assess the island, see if I can see any imminent danger coming from the island. Like
make a perception check for me, please.
While he's doing that, I'll just go, right, chaps, drop anchor. We're going to go and invest. Sorry, Captain. That's your job, isn't it? I do apologise. I got a bit carried away. I thought I was... I don't know where I thought I was, actually. Sorry about that.
Okay, don't let it happen again.
I shall try my very best to do whatever it was you just said.
Right then, everyone, what he said.
Okay.
24 for the perception check.
24. Your dice have caught back up now.
Yeah.
You kind of look over this island, and it's decently sized. You don't see any movement immediately. There are kind of several large buildings located on the island. mostly made of stone. You can't make out any details
Okay.
right now, but everything's still kind of settling after it all rose.
I'll fly back to the ship and just tell the captain there's no immediate. I can't see any immediate threat, and there's several stone buildings.
You
Over
use
that
your
way.
away team, Captain, or do you want to take some of the new blood?
Yes, let's break the new lot in a little.
Okay. So, are you boarding rowboats to head to the shore?
Right, so Aldris, Balkin, Eyeless, Kirkin, Klein, Lack. With me and the captain, please.
Yes, first mate. Wasn't really sure how to answer that one.
But as
Okay.
usual, just jumps in and starts swimming.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the usual. I'll fly up in the air and go stealthy and do Overwatch.
Okay. Okay.
I'll get in a boat.
The rest of you.
I'm happy.
I'll swim across as well. And when I get the other side, I'll get out and just cast prestidigitation to try myself.
When Klein gets out, he'll just stand next to the captain. And
I was just thinking, Klein gets down on all fours and just shakes like a wet dog right next to him.
I'll kind of like glare like directly at him and just sort of cast it again.
Kirkin, how are
sorry,
you at rowing?
I'm strong. I can row.
Excellent. I'm getting in the rowboat with Kirkin and anyone else
Okay.
who wants to get in the rowboat.
Oh yeah, I'll sit in the back of the rowboat and watch you row.
Eyeless, are you rowing, Balkan? Eyeless, Balkan, are you going by boat?
Yeah, so I'll just nod to Balkan and come on.
Okay.
Okay. So you kind of all convene on the boat. For your information, Captain Kent has kind of taken charge and is overseeing the repairs.
Yeah.
You'll kind of arrive on this still slightly damp beach that's just starting to settle. It's a very rocky island. You can see what appear to be ruins kind of further ahead. I would give you a map, but unfortunately I didn't give myself time to make this. So I have to make do for the remaining kind of hour.
Theatre of the mind.
Theatre of the mind. Only what you can imagine.
As we sort of get onto the beach, I'm going to sidle up next to the captain and just sort of pull out a second whistle, which is identical to the one that's under my breastplate. Since you're captain now, I believe that it's only right that you have one of these.
And what is that for?
Do you remember the problem that I said before? The Balkan sometimes forgets to come out of his wild shaping form.
Hmm.
2 short blasts, just to remind him, when necessary.
How long have you known Balkan?
A while.
Can you be more precise? Weeks, years, decades?
It's been a few years since I found him on that beach.
And this is the only way to deal with this situation?
It's not the only way, but it's the most expedient.
And has he developed since you've known him? Got a little better or easier? Am I expecting to have to treat him like a child forever? Or
No,
is there a way that we can teach him
I mean, if you want to teach him something new, then sure, but I believe that you having one of these would be a good stopgap in the meantime. He can be quite resistant to coming out of his shape. He enjoys being in it.
Have I ever heard of anybody being able to persuade a shapeshifter to unshift? Is there a... It seems a bit controlly, so I just want to kind of look over and just sort of try and work out what exactly is going on over there.
Make an insight check.
I love Martin's wording for it, so I've been chuckling to myself. Has he developed?
To be fair, if anybody asks, I can provide context as to why this is necessary.
15. You get the sense that 15. It doesn't seem malicious from Ilas's perspective. It just feel a bit weird, kind of,
Yeah,
and you don't really.
Okay.
You find it a bit weird, but
Cool.
you don't get any like malicious intent on directly from that.
Okay.
To the buildings, Captain?
Yes. But take caution, Klein.
Always, Captain.
Caution. That's a very good idea, Captain. And I will.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm overtired and my brain is going 100% into joke mode. And I was about to call out for caution to come with me.
Klein, do you want me to give you a lift again?
I would say not just yet.
I'm
We
just
don't
going
know
to
what's about.
reach over and, Mr. Klein, if I may,
Oh.
I just tap him on the shoulder. There you go, and cast Blessing of the Trickster. You have advantage on stealth checks for an hour.
Okay.
On stealth, you're saying?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so obviously go ahead like I normally do, have a look about and head towards the nearest building with a door. Would
As
I-
usual, I'll be overhead, slightly advanced, checking for any sign of movement or any danger or anything like that.
a question before we go.
Stealthily.
Would you tell me what that does as Aldris?
I believe that you can now be super stealthy. If it works. It doesn't always work on me. It does work on other people, though. It's very
Oh,
weird
right.
like that.
Let's give this a go then, because I normally just run in.
Yes,
Yeah,
try
I'll
some
be-
stealth.
I'll be a bit more quieter on the approach too.
Are we
Okay.
then sneaking in then?
I think Mr. Klein's going for a quick look-see.
Oh,
I think we're staying here. I'm not sure. The captain hasn't said whether we should all go or not. I'll just look back at the captain.
Quickly throwing something together.
Well,
We're just going to wait for Lack to have a quick look around, see if there's any dangers we need to be aware of.
Yes, I thought Mr. Klein was going as well. Is that not the case?
It's possible. Usually he just runs in after, but
Well,
You'll kind of see Klein doing that, and then after Aldris touches him, he'll be like the
No, more like
Pink Panther-esque sort of like.
on tiptoes, just moving along. Never seen that before, though.
It's a thing I can do. I can make people behave in strange ways. You should try it sometime.
Keep talking amongst yourselves. I'm fucking this up. Hang on.
I'm assuming we should need to roll for stealth anyway.
If you are going quietly, I would like to roll for stealth, and I'd also like Lack to do a perception check if he's kind of like scouting ahead for you.
well, my stealth was 27.
Wow.
27. Did you roll that advantage as well because you're flying at the moment?
Yeah, I have done. Yeah,
I rolled at advantage.
and the
Give me
perception.
2
24.
11s.
Okay.
I
So
tried.
12.
I tried.
double snake eyes.
Yeah. What are the chances?
Okay. So,
The
I have to
perception was
just
24.
I
Jake.
apologise. You just have to
Oh,
give me
sorry.
just one moment.
Not a problem.
I'm just improvising.
So,
Gives
Captain,
a chance to organise everybody.
Yeah.
Have you been on many of these islands?
We have visited quite a few over my time, yes.
Right. I don't think I've ever been on an island like this before.
We found you on an island like this before.
I thought I was at Arala's tomb. Pretty sure I remember that.
We
Yes,
found you in a tower, or near a tower.
You met me in the town of Aralum.
Yes, I remember you specifically because you have the horns and everything. You're very memorable.
We've
You were already on the ship at that time.
Yes, I've been on the ship for years.
I see.
I'm the helmsman. I don't know if you've seen. I stand at the back and steer with the big wheel thing.
I'm just going to give a bewildered look to the captain. I'm like, huh?
I'm sorry.
can I want to insight that to see if he's
Absolutely.
Yeah, make an insight check for me, please.
or bluffing.
When Fiddy can't be Fiddy, everybody else is Fiddy.
Oh, get him. Have a natural 20.
Okay.
Natural
Um,
20.
And
Uh,
I can
that's like-
roll.
so this is an insight check to see if Aldris is lying about his position on the ship, or
He believes what he says.
if Aldris believes what he says.
Yeah.
Or he's just bullshitting for the sake of bullshitting.
Yeah.
What's the total that you got?
21.
21. Aldris, I'll say that you can make a deception or a persuasion check.
Okay.
I'll leave the decision to you.
Do you need to know which one it is?
Message me with it.
I say gives it away if you tell us, doesn't it?
Did you get that?
Come on, guys.
Shit.
Insight check shouldn't be this hard.
Oh, did you roll it on D&D
I
Beyond?
did.
Hang on.
D&D Beyond.
Not everyone has your experience for
Is it a door?
Okay. You suspect, Phineas, that he doesn't wholly believe what he's saying, but not out of a deliberate attempt to lie.
Oh, that's confusing.
Aldous is confusing.
Aldrich is
Or
confused.
Aldrich confused, yeah.
Yeah, that's also
To
true.
be fair.
And that's even with Phineas rolling in that 20 as well.
I don't want to give too much. It's insight checks are really difficult.
They are. Yeah. I
Yeah.
absolutely don't want Aldrich to spill all his backstory immediately.
Yeah.
That's
From
why.
one roll.
That's why I stick to inanimate objects. Makes it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Or
insight
gods,
check this
you know.
wall.
I'm almost there.
Or
I
the entire
apologise
world.
for.
You know.
I'm pretty sure he insight checked as God before.
Yes, he has, and
Has
the
he?
universe and a world. So yeah,
Not quite that far, but a god for sure.
I mean,
Well, I can't even. I would like to write a list because it would be long, but I wouldn't be able to remember because some of them have been fucking stupid but brilliant.
yes, this is very true. Stupid but brilliant is a good way to
A
persuade
Fiddy
someone.
specialty.
I mean, at times we would, you've essentially sort of insight checked somebody's the equivalent of somebody's bowel movement, which is hilarious. But it's actually had a lot of those ones have actually given us more information than others.
That's literally reading the tea leaves.
So, how do these assaults normally work then? Quarantine? Is it you just like a pincer movement, or have you got some strategy, or?
We wait for Lack usually to assess the situation. He's usually pretty good at spotting any dangers that might
Right.
be ahead of us.
Which one's Lack?
The one you can't see that's flying in the air.
The one that flies around and is usually up in the fly's nest.
Oh,
Is he still on the boat?
No, he's flying around, having a look around at the moment.
Yeah, you can't see this
Okay.
guy anywhere. I think you've only probably seen Lack like once or twice,
I've seen
maybe.
him a couple of times.
But
He doesn't.
You hold a crossbow to your head at one
He
point
did.
when you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
that's
sure
true.
the twice that Aldrich has seen him, he's threatened him in some way or
Bound
another.
to be.
yeah,
Happens a lot, to be fair.
He generally doesn't get seen unless he wants to be seen.
Ah, one of those types, yes. I remember those.
I really need to sort this out. So, first of all, I'm going to get everybody's stealth checks now.
oh,
I was staying behind until I'd heard back from Lack.
Yeah, I thought we all
Okay.
were. Apart from
Okay, if
Okay.
you're all doing that, then I'll have Lack's perception check then, please. And your stealth check was
My
way
stealth
over 20,
was
wasn't it?
27. And
Yeah,
my-
mine was
Yeah,
in,
stealth's fine.
my stealth was only 12, by the way. Just
Are
FYI.
you moving forward without Lack's
Yeah.
clearance?
Yep.
Also, all cool, Ash. Thank you for letting me know.
perception was 24.
24. Okay. So, as you're kind of moving ahead, you can see kind of the rocks kind of thin in a little bit and then open up to a large area of beach. And 24. Let me just roll a little bit.
I'm going to drop out. So
I also have
Yeah,
advantage
cool.
of perception for invisible things. So if there's anything.
Yeah, that's not going to come into effect, but good
Okay.
catch.
It's a bit of a
Um,
giveaway, though. If you tell me to roll an advantage, I know there's something invisible there.
Well, it's more of like you roll at advantage to try and see if there are any invisibles.
Right, okay.
Right. Okay. So, what was your final perception? Apologies.
It was 24.
24. Okay. As you're kind of like moving ahead of the group, you can see in this section that you need to pass through to get to the buildings. You can see a couple of suspicious to you pools of water that seem to occasionally just shift and move unnaturally. And if my thing would actually work, I'd be able to set this up and all.
I'd turn around and fly back a bit, and I'd message this as usual back down to the captain rather than breaking my stealth.
Yeah.
And just tell him what I've seen and where they are.
Okay.
And then carry on, go back again, and just keep an eye out.
Okay.
So yes,
Um,
usually in cases like this, Lack will scope out the situation, report any findings back, and then we will take the buildings one by one, looking for anything valuable and of interest.
Perfect. That sounds like a very good plan. I'm glad I came up with it.
How far away would I be from the closest building to us?
It's a good little walk to get there. You have to wind through the rocks that are particularly sharp here.
If that was the case, do they feel, no pun here, rock solid or brittle?
Make an investigation or survival check.
Make a geology check.
Yeah, big survival for me, for sure. 16.
16. Okay. The rocks don't feel super solid. You kind of lean on one and it kind of gives a little bit. You suspect that they've not fully settled after the island rose.
Oh, in that case then, I think by this point, Klein would have potentially forgotten about what Aldris bestowed upon him, and would get a great axe out, because if it's hard for me to get through, I know that Balkan is quite big, and so is Kirkin. I need to get out of my head to stop calling you Gherkin. Sorry.
I mean,
And
quarantine, gherkin, sounds great.
yeah, I'd probably see if I could not chisel, but break a couple off, like say on the right hand side, just to make it a bit of an easier walk for the rest.
Yeah.
Or an
that's
easier
absolutely
escape, I
fine.
would probably say as well. Either or.
Okay. I'll say you guys continue along. Lack, you see the crew starting to approach the area where you saw those puddles.
Okay, well, I'll then hover down to about just under 30 feet above them and get my crossbow out,
Okay.
ready
So,
in case. So I'll hold an attack in case one of them, anything tries to attack the crew.
as you kind of, as the rest of you kind of come through, you reach this section that kind of opens up. Phineas, the section that Lack warned you of. You can see the beginnings of ruined stone walls, and you see this odd-looking stone circle that is cracked and broken, just lying in the middle of the beach.
Cool.
Are you guys going stealthily, or are you just moving normally?
I will await the first mate or captain's commands as to whether we go stealthily.
I don't think we've been given any indication that we need to be particularly stealthy from Lack's message and whatever clients doing.
Yeah, no, I just told you about two suspicious-looking puddles that seem to be moving around.
Yeah.
Then normal. Quite intrigued
Okay.
by the circle. Have I
Yeah.
seen anything
Me
like this before? Do I know what it is? Are there any runes or markings or wording?
You can head over and
Investigate.
do a bit of an
Of course.
investigation for me.
Has the captain informed us about these peculiar puddles?
Yeah.
What I will do for you,
An 8, my investigation.
just give me one moment, please.
My rolls are terrible this evening.
If you guys refer to the roll 20 for me.
Oh.
What I will say, just for my reference, so who's kind of leading the group here, by the way?
Me.
We'd probably be waiting for the captain's command, so...
Yeah. Okay.
Is this the stone circle
when
here?
Messaged, I have said, right, and sort of wandered off.
Yeah.
Leading them.
Yeah.
Would I
So
be a
this
little
is
further
the-
in front?
Yeah, you can move your tokens.
Yeah, no, I'm just I didn't know if you just had them on the edge because obviously they needed to be somewhere. Well,
So
I
you
went
guys,
ahead of them, didn't
you
I?
guys are coming in from up here.
Yeah.
So
I would have gone up to the circle because nobody's told me I can't. So I'm just going to go and investigate.
make an
those.
investigation check for me,
I
please.
did. It was horrible. It was 8.
8.
Yes, because I'm really good at it,
Rock.
apparently. Rock.
It's some pretty rocks.
It's all very shiny. No
For
gold,
your
though.
reference, Lack, those two blue circles, if you guys can see them,
Yeah.
those are the puddles that you've seen.
Yeah. That's
That
why
keep
I'm where
shifting
I
a
am,
little bit.
keeping an eye on them.
Yeah, I'm over there, so I'd have a look out if there's anything
Yeah.
near me.
Yeah.
Perception?
Yeah, make a perception check for me, please.
Use a completely different dice. Do you know what? I'll use my metal dice. I haven't used that in a while.
I'm going to head over to the funny looking rock that looks like it might have symbols on it. I don't know if that's just rock or if there actually is anything written on it. I will be looking for any writing.
Make an investigation check for me, please.
Only a 9, Jade. So.
Don't see anything amiss.
Yeah.
Kind of the rocks close in just a little bit off to the side of the left. The passage kind of continues down near these ruins.
15.
This is what I threw together in like a minute
That's fine. It's
to
good.
have this ready because
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
prepared. Sorry, was that 15? There are actually symbols. They're old and weathered, and kind of the nature of this, it looks similar to the stone near the circle, kind of these stone ruined walls, but it's been weathered down and worked by water, it seems.
Is there anything that any of them that I can sort of identify as at least what language they're in, or?
You've got 15 on the investigation, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Can't really make out any language in this symbology.
Any of the symbols familiar in any way?
Not with the 15. Not with they're a bit too worn and weathered for you to make out any symbols.
He's got to do it because he's a water genasi.
Okay.
Klein,
What
don't
you-
lick the puddle.
Are you just walking straight up?
Yeah, just walk up to it and have a look into it, basically. Just have a look.
Okay.
If you could see that, you'd see him shaking his head.
Klein, you kind of look over the kind of look over the puddle. It kind of ripples in an odd way, even though you didn't touch it.
The puddle rippled, Captain, and I didn't touch it this time.
Don't
Did you-
lick it either, Klein.
I know what water tastes like. You live in there.
Just be careful. Wait till we get over there. I was gonna come up next to Aldous and have a look at the.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's exciting, Captain. You see, the stones are very rock-like.
Yes.
Klein will just move round to there, just as like a guard position, because he knows people are behind him.
What do you want me to give for the
You want to
investigation?
do an investigation? Yeah, because you're looking at this strange cracked stone circle.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
23.
23. You kind of look over this, and it has the kind of look of like an old, like magical rune. There was magic here, not anymore. You can kind of trace it out a little bit. Let's have a look. Do you have any of those kinds of spells? Don't think you do.
Do I have spells?
No, particular type of spell.
As he's tracing it out, do I recognise it at all?
You can make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Um,
I was expecting a history check, but I'll do Arcana. It's fine.
okay, stop 1 moment there. Quarantine.
16.
16. It really strikes you as like the old tracing of like abjuration magic. There's no magic here on this circle,
So,
but
Captain, it looks like this is a abjuration magic, but it's no longer effective. It's been broken and dismissed.
Klein, come back here a second. Let's just regroup.
Yo.
Klein, I'll say you kind of make it 10 feet. Quarantine. As you kind of walk around, you come into range of this circle here. There's this puddle of water, and there's a strong amount of magic emanating from it.
I suppose the magical captain.
Yes, well, it seems this seal was at one point magical. Abjuration, I'm told.
Well, maybe
Wait.
it contained whatever that is that your first mate
Why
is.
is Actually, what I was thinking.
Can I sense what kind of magic coming from them?
Oh, that's a good question.
Detect magic should let you know that, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it does. It seems to be a very strong, very primal form of evocation.
Are you the one I've been waiting?
No, you're not.
What? Was that just in my head, or did everybody hear that?
Martin's gone all
You're
slow
what?
again.
Martin's gone all slow there. Oop.
It's a... No, he's got muted.
Yeah.
It's a strong, primal feeling, evocation magic. I wouldn't get too close to it if I were you.
You said primal, right? Quarantine?
Yes, Klein.
Is there any writing anywhere?
There is, but it's worn and I can't quite identify it.
Would you
Whereabouts
like me
was
to
it?
have a look?
Yeah.
If you feel like you might find something I've missed, go ahead.
Absolutely, I'm very good at reading.
Yeah.
Are the rocks themselves magical? Or is it just the balls?
No, there's no magic on the stones. The only bits of magic you could detect are from those two circles.
Right, I'll
But you
wander
can keep
over
moving around if you wish.
I'll
If
wander
they
over
were-
and take a look at this writing that
Yeah,
Quarantine's pointed out.
Yeah, I'll do the same with.
If they were magical, I'm not sensing any magic from them anymore. Yeah, I would sort of do a little. I won't get too close, but I just sort of want to get close enough to.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, I specifically. Sorry, go on.
At one point, you get a blip right above you of the magic items that Lack's carrying, but it disappears just as soon as it appeared.
I'll just send a message straight up saying, "Keep an eye on my back, Black."
You two are investigating this rock over here?
Yeah, specifically,
specifically
the
the
writing.
writing.
See, yeah.
Okay. Make an investigation check. See if you can find any intact writing or symbology.
Okay.
If we're doing it together, can one give advantage?
Yeah, you can give advantage.
Or can one do
Roll them
investigation or
separate.
one do perception?
It's
or-
Not really a perception check here.
Okay.
You're looking closely.
My investigation is +2, so...
You're one better than me, so
Okay, I'll go with advantage then, shall I?
yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty awful. 13.
No, you don't find any writing or symbols you're able to make clean detail out of.
I think she might have been mistaken. This isn't actually writing. It's something else.
Righto. Where there's normally some weird shit going on, Captain, there's treasure, so
Usually.
Is there weird shit? I hadn't noticed.
Reckon? Sorry.
I was just going to go. The pools are apparently magical. Ultras, so
Are they? Oh, right. Okay. Well,
Klein's just going to step forward a little bit,
probably shouldn't drink out of them then.
and take his not staff. What's it called? Trident. That's the word.
Yeah.
And see if there is any particular pull from the trident to these pools, or
Make a perception check.
I'm running at D20s. What aren't rolling shite this evening.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do a walk around the perimeter of this area, but just sort of staying about this far away from the pools. So just sort of,
Okay. If you just move yourself
Go
about as
away.
you kind of perimeter, just so that I know.
It's only
Okay.
11.
Hold on. You pick up another kind of sense, magical signal coming from that rock there. Similar primal evocation, though slightly different flavour almost.
This rock down here, Captain, is also emitting similar sort of magic, not quite the same as the pools, but do I sense it's maybe elemental?
You think that would be a safe guess?
I'm guessing elemental, judging by the types. I'm
What?
guessing water and earth.
Oh, so elemental creatures.
It's possibility.
Well,
Please, Captain, please give the go ahead.
Captain, is it
I'm just-
possible that these pools are in fact the pools of everlasting life? or eternal youth, as it were, and we should all drink them and become eternally as we are now. I think I've heard that before.
Yes, but Aldous, do you really want to be eternally as you are now?
I think if that were the case, it would be more transmutative powers rather than evocation. Evocation suggests boom.
Right, but I've always been like this, so yes.
All I'm thinking, I'll say sort of loudly so everyone can hear, is do we see any treasure? Because if not, let's just leave.
We haven't got to the buildings yet.
No, the buildings are further down the beach. This is the route.
Buildings.
Yes.
I mean,
Can we just sneak through, get to the building?
absolutely. I will cast Pass Without a Trace on us.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the
so,
radius of pass without trace?
Pass Without a Trace is 30 feet.
I'm assuming, Jay, you can see the circle.
So,
radius
everybody,
circle, yeah.
everybody huddle up.
Just before we start moving, I just want to check Kirkin and Balkan. Is there anything you two want to do?
I would just go to Kirk and go, do you wonder why they brought us?
To carry things, I presume.
Should we go and join them?
If you have any ideas,
Should probably follow along. Stop Aldous from drinking things.
Oh, I'm not going to drink.
And climb for the licking things.
And
Yeah, Klein's the one who wouldn't worry about there.
I can't
So-
if I
move
sort of
the token.
stay near the front, that way I can sort of point out where they
Yeah.
coming from.
Okay.
Pick up
know
any
it's
new ones.
completely ineffective. But as we're walking along here, I'll walk beside Aldous and I'll try to lecture him on the circle of life and birth and death and how wanting to be eternally young is kind of going against that, and it's not really something you should want.
Right. So you're saying I should just accept who I am forever?
Except that one day you will pass into the next world. You can change
I'm not
yourself
sure
in
that's
this
actually
world.
possible.
When you die, your soul will travel to the next
Yeah,
world.
see, that's the part I have a problem with. The whole dying thing.
But it is natural. It comes to us all.
Right. Hasn't come to me yet. Or, rather, it has come to me several times.
And it wasn't your time.
Well, it was for quite a
Oh.
long time, but yes. If you say so.
So,
That's a
shall
big
try to
drop.
sneak past the pools. Let's make some stealth checks, please, with the +10 from Aldris's Pass Without a Trace. How long does Blessing of the Trickster last for?
Blessing the Trickster's an hour
An hour. So
until
That will
I
come
cast it
into
again.
that will come into effect here as well for
Ooh,
Klein.
thank you.
I got a message from Ash saying he gave you guidance, but guidance only lasts 10 minutes, doesn't it? So I would have gone by
Yeah,
now.
that would have gone by now.
I saw some pretty shoddy rolls there.
Yep.
Not great for Eyeless.
I did as well.
I
Not good for
have
me either.
I have disadvantage on stealth. And
Yeah, that pesky army you're wearing.
yeah. But I have +10, luckily.
Ooh, that's not good. That's not good at all. I've got 19.
I got 14.
It's the modifier. 14.
Right, Lack will prop us up.
I got 31.
31.
Is that with the +10?
Yeah, I didn't roll very well. So I've got +10 plus another 10, so I have +20 on stealth.
Wow.
So you
Stupid.
can fail.
+10. Yeah.
Okay, so
I-
actually, let me write these down. So Iris got 19. So I'm going to average these because I like to do that. So we'll go in order for myself. Aldris.
14.
14. Vulcan.
14.
14. Phineas.
27.
Very nice. Quarantine.
18.
Kirkin.
15.
15. Klein.
22.
22. And Black, your stupid
31.
number, please.
31.
31.
I mean, most of those were decent rolls without pass a trace.
Without
Like,
it,
if you
we
roll
were
14
shit.
without having pass a trace, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
given the plus 10 to everyone,
yeah, yeah. Myself and Kirk are not doing great with the whole stealth thing.
15.
In fairness,
2.
7 foot tall, my swords aren't really made to be stealthy.
That's true. That's true.
Divide that by the 8
You're,
of
you're
you.
probably, dragging my average down. You're stood beside me lecturing me about stuff I don't really understand.
But I am also helping to disguise you because the enemies will see me first.
That's a very good point. If you could just sort
I
of
can
go in
provide
front of me,
cover.
that would be perfect.
Yes.
I mean, if you want me to be stealthy, I could just turn into a different creature.
How will that help?
So,
They wouldn't see me.
Ah, okay.
your average stealth was 20.
Hey, nice.
Very good. The creatures rolled 19 plus
Ah.
0, so you're able to sneak past without alerting them.
So we get through here then, do we?
Yeah, you get through there and you're able to continue on towards these large ruins, and you begin to see larger, more complete stone walls almost leading you in.
As again, I'll fly ahead and just recce the buildings, see if I can see anything. I won't go inside them. I'll just go over the top area, see if I can see anything dangerous or suspicious.
Make a perception check for me.
I take it we're off this map now then.
Yeah, you're off this map, and we'll just do a little bit more, and I'll have to finish because I'm running out
Yeah, no.
of stuff.
Just
I wasn't expecting you to find this place.
16, Jay.
16. Okay. You don't see anything moving. You don't see more of those pools anywhere. But you can see the buildings are starting to get more kind of like complete and clustered together. So there may be things hiding in the shadows that you can't quite see from your position.
Okay.
Can we go in, Captain?
after you.
Thank you. I'll head into the first building.
You're not quite at the buildings. You kind of got this almost like concourse towards the this like complex of buildings. You can see stone walls all around you.
Is the architecture familiar at all?
Make a history check in this case.
And any writing on these walls, or as we're
Make
going?
investigation check if you wish.
For God's sake.
Any more magical pings?
Oh no.
Chaz. Nothing at the moment currently.
My rolls have been abysmal all night. This is so bad.
Oh my word, that was nasty. None of the digital rolls have been going well for people.
No,
apart from me.
Dreadful.
Mine's been pretty great.
That's true, but yeah. One day, one of my history rolls is going to go really well, and we're all going to go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Some very bad things will happen then.
Yeah.
Okay, so Klein, you were investigating, weren't you?
Well, I was more just looking at the walls, if that was possible. I wouldn't be like touching. I was just seeing if there was any
check for me,
writing.
please.
It makes it fuck all better, but 13 for that.
13. It's just more worn. You can't really make out any details. As you're kind of walking along, though, Balkan, as you're walking along, you kind of look off to the side. You see kind of buried in the sand this strange stone shape. It just catches your eye.
I'll walk over to it.
It's this kind of like long, thin, like oval shape that comes to a point. Has some like delicate carving all on it, just poking out the sand.
I'll just pull it out.
Make a strength check for me, please.
Strength check. 14.
14. It's a bit of a struggle, and you don't get it fully free, but you kind of pull it a little bit, and you see another one, and what looks like long, thin spiral bit coming off of it. A couple of you kind of notice that Balkan's wandered off to the side, and Hylas is kind of walking over to come see what you're doing.
Vulcan, have you found anything?
Yeah.
Just be careful. What have you found?
Well, it's like sand with something sticking out of it.
I'll get a bit closer. Is it anything magical?
No magical ping.
I found it. Mine.
It's still half buried
That's
in the
not how
sand.
this works, Vulcan.
It's ours.
Anything that is found is property of, well, mine or the ships, and then we sell it, and then we each take a share.
Yes, Captain.
If it's something
Sorry.
that is, if it's something that has little value, but you wish to keep, that would be fine.
Are you saying I'm little value?
It's not magical,
I'm
at
free.
least, Captain.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not picking up
pull it out,
anything.
Vulcan, let's see.
Oh, okay. I'll pull it out. Try.
Make another strength check for me, please.
Guidance.
Okay. Going to default to that.
Oh, the guidance did help a bit.
Yay.
16.
16.
Well done.
Okay. This time you're able to kind of shimmy it and kind of shake it a little bit, and the sand kind of gives way, and you pull it out, and you're faced with a very strange little statue. It's about 3 and a bit feet tall, made of stone. It's like a vaguely humanoid figure, though they seem to be wearing some kind of armor, maybe? They've got 4 arms and a pair of wings on their back and a pair of curled antennae. Looks a lot like Lack, actually.
Isn't that
Back, it's you.
I probably couldn't hear you because I'm down by the buildings investigating.
Lack's kind
Lack.
of flying about.
And in-
Occasionally you get to catch a glimpse of him.
Zach, you found something that might be of interest to you. Casting message.
okay, I'll fly back.
And I'll just go, you hover there.
Yes. What is it?
And I'll pull it out and go, "Look, it looks like you.
How big
You
is
on a-
Lack?
It's you on a stick.
About 3 foot. Just over 3 foot.
It's life size then, the statue.
Yeah. Effectively, yes.
Scale
Yes.
model.
You're on a
Look,
stick, Black.
I don't have many good ideas, Captain.
I know.
But
He's fishing for compliments.
although it's life size, what if it was one of Lack's kind?
I think if that
What?
was the case, I would sense some kind of magic from it.
What are you saying, Mr. Klein, that somebody like Lack was turned to stone by
What, this is a real thing?
some kind of magical means?
Potentially.
Well, that
Can you
would,
hear us?
that would
That's
that
right.
would scan with the whole pools of life, eternal youth thing from earlier. Just saying.
Would I have heard of anything in this world that could turn things to stone?
Make a nature check.
I mean, Martin knows that your last campaign in this world definitely had a creature of
Yeah,
soul.
I made you fight a true Gorgon, didn't I?
Exactly.
Would I assume that if
Yeah.
they've been turned to stone by something, that would leave at least some magical traces?
You would expect there to be some kind of magic.
You've caught it. You've caught it off of me.
I
Sorry.
did. Before that, my worst roll of the night was a 17, including modifiers.
Phineas, you think about it for a
Then I
bit,
did.
but you've heard rumours, but you don't know for certain. You never really believed in yourself.
I personally,
Sorry, go on.
Captain, I do not believe that to be the case. If they'd been transformed by anything from flesh to stone, it would leave some magical traces, and I'm not sensing any magic at all.
Possibly, but maybe that could have worn off over time.
It does depend on how long ago it was done, of course.
I mean, if it's a person, I could heal it. Well, not a person. What are you, Lack?
I am Lack.
I think Lack
Okay.
is a person for all kind of philosophical discussions.
But I could try and heal the Lack that's on the stick.
Lack on a stick. I like that.
Can I inspect it and see if I recognise it or
Make an
I
investigation check.
know about it?
It's
Make
your
an
mum.
investigation check.
We've been to quite a few different ruins. Have I ever known of any magical traces that have completely gone?
Make a history check. Lack, that investigation check. I've got the thing up. I can see it. You don't think this is a living, was a living Zopteran. But as you kind of get your eyes on it, it really stands out to you. You kind of, you assume that these lot haven't noticed it, but you can start to kind of see like the markings painted on, and they're very similar to yours.
Whereas, yes, I remember. Okay.
19 for history.
19. Things do tend to lose magic. You've identified the rings of self-destruction, where magical items have lost their specific enchantments and become warped. Though, don't think you've ever seen anything completely lose its magic before.
That might be, sir, but in my experiences, I've never known anything to have completely lost all manner of magic.
If you cast your mind back some time ago, there was a stone circle up there that had no magic on it whatsoever, and yet there were symbols of magic on it. I'm just saying.
Well,
That was broken.
Indeed,
The magic
Therefore,
from it was broken.
the
But
magic
this is intact.
is gone. So, this could
Well-
have the same thing. There could have been an enchantment upon it that has since been broken or dispelled.
That may be true. I'm just telling you my opinion.
Also, of course, those rocks over there that with no markings whatsoever could have been magic at one point. We just don't know.
well, whatever he is very handsome.
I think we will operate under the assumption this is just a statue.
Yes, I concur, Captain.
Even know where the petrification
No,
plot came
Kirkin's
from.
over there. You can't be Kirkin as well.
He concurs, is what that
Sorry.
said. Just for
Thank
There
you.
was
Oh, I missed the reference there. Like, what the fuck?
Too fast. I apologise.
Too fast.
So,
No, I was just
Paul
too busy
here.
shaking my head.
I want to try casting Speak with Plants again
yeah.
because I have 3 charges, 6 charges actually.
Okay. There's definitely some
and-
kelp nearby.
This time, what it's doing is, well, first of all, thanking the kelp for its help earlier. And then I can question plants about events in the spell's area within the past day, gain information about creatures that have passed, weather, and other circumstances. So I'm
Okay.
particularly interested in creatures that have passed in other circumstances, see if they know anything.
Okay. You go over to kind of a section of kelp that's kind of attached to the rocks, and your magic comes in. Hey, dude, how can I help you?
Good evenings, Kelp. Thank you for helping our ship earlier.
Ain't no problem, man. I'm happy to help, especially if you don't crash into me. That will be best.
If I don't question you,
If you don't crash into me,
crash. Sorry.
then just put a
Um,
dampener on the day, you know.
I imagine being dragged to the surface. I'm switching accents.
It's
Dragged to the
happened a couple of
surface.
times now. It's all fine. All fine.
Good. I'm glad you will not be unduly harmed by this. While you were below, were there any other creatures inhabiting this area?
Well, let me cast my mind back. Yeah, there was. I don't think they lived here. I hadn't seen them before. But there are these funky folks wearing kind of black robes, all kind of strange like. They seem to be quite interested in what was on those walls. And then they saw that statue your friends got over there, and they just knocked it over and threw it into the sand. They didn't seem to like it very much.
I see. Thank you.
Is there anything else I can help you out with?
I may speak to some of your fellows further on the island, but no, you have been very helpful. Thank you.
Sure, I'll get the word out that the big furry one's coming. And tell him that you ain't gonna eat him. But you
Certainly
chill
not.
out, man. You chill. The magic
Thank you.
fades a little bit.
I do. I love the kelp. Kelp is amazing.
Remind me
Yep,
of
chill, dude.
the turtles from Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the vibe I was going for, like chill surfer dude almost.
Nice.
Yeah. So I relay this information to the group. Creepy dudes, black robes, just like the statue.
They were looking at the walls. Interesting.
Well, can I remember anything from any stories or reading? Obviously being
Make
one with the sea.
Make a history check.
Oh, yes. Do you know what? I know.
Guidance.
Ooh, thank
Oh,
you.
plus D4.
I keep forgetting
roll
I've got
that
it.
Do I know
Oh,
of
really good.
anybody on the ship who might know more about those, what I think to be possibly magical
I'll
symbols?
say do a hearsay.
Wow, really good. History. That plus that with that 25.
Nice.
5.
I rolled a 17 and I rolled a 4 and a D4 and have a +4 for history.
Lovely.
Nice.
So-
25. You don't really remember much from books. Maybe a little bit, but you do very... So, this history check was specifically about the
The black hooded.
black hooded figures.
Yeah, knowing that obviously we live in the sea basically, but obviously you can come up to land. That I was seeing if there was anything about anything.
A history check.
That's a good fitty. Anything about anything.
Well, in my head it makes sense. It always does. But
Yeah.
if there's anything about that, which obviously because generations
Basically,
past,
stories or
lore-
rumours of...
Yeah. Of
You have, vaguely. And it kind of... As you're kind of looking at all of this and thinking back and looking at the statue, things start to kind of click in your mind. You remember back on Mount Ver, you remember looking at a large mural that had a bunch of other Zopteran-like lac painted on it. And from that, you then remember the cultists that you fought on that island. They were ostensibly fire cultists, but they seem to have some different symbology among them. And that then kind of starts to remind you of. See if I actually wrote down the name back then. I wrote it down somewhere. Hold up. Okay. Kind of a name that kind of sparks in your mind: Black Robes, the Cult of the Grand Hollow comes to mind with that. I'll leave you with that bit of information. Quarantine. You're asking about who on the crew might be of use for
Learning more about the symbols on the rocks.
symbols on the rocks.
I got 20.
20.
30.
That's a good question. You suspect that many of the crew, out of all of the crew, the only ones that you could really ask for like knowledge about history would be maybe Mysis. They do know a little bit about history, a little bit about ancient stuff, but without getting a proper sense for what the symbology in the writing on the rocks and walls is, you feel like you would struggle to get a proper picture.
Okay.
Captain,
Fine.
after what Gherkin said about speaking to the kelp and everything,
I think that's stuck.
uh,
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, Debbie.
I'm not going to fight it. Sorry, it's there.
Part of Klein, really.
We had another bit of a brainwave, you know, 2 in one day. It's going there. Bit weird,
Careful
actually.
there, Klein.
Anyway, but the men in the black robes, what they mentioned, and this statue of Lax kind. Remember being
Yes.
on top of the volcano?
Mm-hmm.
There was a mural that had Lax kind painted on that. People in black robes we fought. And a name has just come to me as well. They could be the cult of the Grand Hollow. Hollow. It's really hard to say that in an accent. Hollow.
Blue.
Do I recognise that name?
Make a history or hearsay.
Wasn't that the being that attacks other gods?
Do I recognise that name?
14.
You can make a history check for me.
That's what I got written down in my notes.
14.
A being that likes to attack gods.
What?
The Grand Hollow.
19.
Okay. Lack, nothing really jumping out at you. You remember from what Klein said on Mount Ver. Aldris, what did you get for your history?
19.
19.
I rolled a manual dice.
As you kind of standing there, kind of in this conversation, you're kind of thrown back a little bit, and your vision changes. You see, like, you're lying on sand. You can just see a wall of water in front of you, and you can see these hooded figures walking in front of you. And you start to hear Aurala's voice, and then you kind of snap back.
Well, that was odd.
I will fill in just because, unfortunately, Ash isn't here. Ilus would inform you that in his previous ventures, he was involved in the defense of tide rays from an attack from said cult. So Quarantine's note is correct. It does seem that this entity likes to attack gods.
So I heard Dorala's voice. Do I know what she said?
Make a perception check for me, please.
Perception. 16.
16. You just hear the word stop, and that's when it kind of cuts off for you.
Captain,
It's as though she was about to say more.
I do recall something about these fellows in the black robes. I was lying on the sand and they were coming along. And Dorala said, stop. And she was going to say something else, but then my memory went again. I don't understand what was going on. It was quite comfortable there.
When was this?
Do I remember a vague timeline?
It was before you met these people.
Right.
And definitely after you were born.
So, it was before I met you. Which I admit is quite a lot of space of time. But it was definitely after I got born. So, we're probably talking about... I don't know when that was, so... Do you recall
An
when my
indeterminate
birthday is?
length of time.
Sorry,
I
yes,
think
sorry.
it's the
It's not very useful. I
of
understand.
September. Doesn't matter, but
That's fair.
How devious.
well, your birthday may matter. We can pick a new birthday if you can't remember when yours was, and
I don't
we'll
think
have
the
a
day is
celebration.
important. I think it's probably more the year.
Right.
We could say it's tomorrow.
We could do that. That is a thing we could do.
So,
Can I just ask one more thing?
yes, Klein.
Captain, how devious are your old crew?
Devious, are they?
Well, they came and attacked us, and they took an egg.
Nope.
We've been going on all these islands, what we've come across as they've popped up, and we've now come across the same cult twice. Once where we fought a massive volcano monster, too. Do you reckon they could be teaming up?
The Blue Blades and the Cult of the Grand Hollow.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we
I
don't
would-
know when the Grand Hollow may have been to these places, what are popping up. However,
As far as I know, the Cult of the Grand Hollow are religious fanatics trying to achieve some grand scheme. The Blue Blades are a cartel. They are interested in earning money. Aldrich, you really want to say something?
I do, Captain. I think it's important. You say the Blue Blades and the Cult of the Black Hollow. If we put those together, we do get the Blue Oyster Cult. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
oh dear.
I'm so sorry. It just
That's
wouldn't
worse than
get
me,
out of my
Chad.
brain. I had to share it. I'm so sorry. But don't fear the Reaper.
I know it sounds stupid, Captain, but like they're becoming a lot more ballsy than what you said they might or have been. And if this cult hasn't been around for so many years, they might have been reaching out for extra help for those who were obviously willing to get paid for it.
maybe we shouldn't rule it out, but I would find it highly unlikely.
Just a thought, Captain. Just a thought.
You've had an idea or two today, but let's not push it.
No, no. Right, onwards then.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, as you step further into the island, with a lot of questions rattling around in your heads, that's where we'll finish for today. So that'll give me time to hopefully put a map together.
Indeed.
We'll see.
No, that was really good fun, and I apologise
Yeah.
still unreservedly about the Blue Oyster Cult joke. It was very bad.
It's
Totally
so
worth
funny
it.
because it's so funny and I can't tell you why it's so funny. It's really annoying.
Are we about to be attacked by oysters?
I'm tempted.
Completing the.
I'm very tempted.
We should totally.
Yes, very interesting with
Oh, hello.
things and that.
Are we
And
getting cat on
like,
screen?
I mean, obviously apart from Martin and that, and James, but fucking atrocious rolls tonight. Lucky we weren't in battle.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
we
guys were
I'd be so dead.
struggling so badly. The one point where your rolls actually bucked up and worked was probably the point where it was most important for you to avoid that encounter.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that and getting information type thing. Do you know what I mean? But yes, and just this is me now, Jay. But one of the first islands I remember being on when it was just the four of us. We fought that plant, didn't we?
yes, you did.
Yeah, we did.
Were we told of who did that, or was it one of those they couldn't remember, or it didn't get that far?
No,
I believe
we were
still
told.
have a friend with us from.
You can ask the person who is responsible for that plant. In fact, Phineas can at least.
Yep.
Don't forget that you have Orcana in that soulstone.
In the Pokeball. Yep.
Pokeball.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Go, botanist.
Because
I thought about that earlier when Kirkham was talking to plants. I thought, oh yeah, Orcana.
I choose
No,
you
I'll-
or Carnitude.
Yeah, I'll pop her out at some point.
yeah, it was just a thought. Because I mean, me personally, I'm thinking along the lines of
Those ruins were very distinctly elven.
Yes.
These ones you've not been able to get a good vibe on yet.
Yeah.
Oh no! I'm not talking about like the ruins type. It's just, are these Grand Hollow people going to every island or trying to get to every island was popped up, or have they done so in the past before? Who knows?
You have to see.
Yes.
Indeed. So
I don't know much about the cult of the Grand Hollow,
we don't.
nor the Blue Oyster Cult, apparently.
Couple of songs. That's about it. Thank you all for playing. Thank you, Jade, for DMing or PMing. Sorry, we're doing Pirate Master.
Yar.
We, of course, will be back here again next Tuesday for the 7th episode of this campaign, because we love it so. The Elusive Tide is, in my opinion, pretty damn fun.
Yar.
So it just remains for one more question. Do we level up?
No.
Worth a try.
You'll level up when I say you level up.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, I'll ask next week. Because August won't have remembered that he asked, so. Yes, so we will be back here next Tuesday for episode 7 of The Elusive Tide. If you liked it, we liked you for liking it. That was fantastic. If you didn't like it, you know what you could do, don't you? You can all fuck off. So, with that, on that beautiful note, we will say goodbye for this evening. See you later.